Hello, everybody. It's Steph Curtis Riley here from International Glamping Business, and I am joined by the star of the small screen, none other than Kerry Roy, who's been on our TVs all week. How are you, Kerry?
I'm good, thank you, love. A bit full of cold, so I sound a bit strange. But yeah, I'm good, and I'm really pleased with everything that's happened at the show. So I'm in happy mode at the moment.
Oh, that's great. Did you have any idea of what was going to really be in it?
Yeah, I did a lot. I mean, they was filming me from June until October last year, so there was a lot that went in there, and there was a heck of a lot that wasn't showed because I had too much content for it. I would have needed my own show to literally show everything that was happening.
Yeah.
But there was, because it was so long, I did actually forget a lot of things, so, and I don't see any of the edits whatsoever, so you do sometimes get concerned about what have you said about your team. So there was a lot of nerves before it for this particular show.
Yeah.
I mean, fortunately, I've done TV before, but it's usually been generalised about the business or the festival that we've worked on. But this time it was a lot more personal. So for me, the nerves were definitely kicking in to watch the first scene. And then after that, I just embraced it and enjoyed it.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, well, yes. You. It's not the first time you've been on television. You were on. Was it Three in a Bed? Was it?
Yeah, Four in a Bed.
Four in a Bed.
Yeah, Four in a Bed. That was a big one. So I still get, because that repeats all the time. In fact, it repeated twice last year in the whole COVID lockdown period. And I always know when it's on because I get new friend requests from strangers. So a lot of people were recognising me from that one as well. Yeah, and we've done a few other little bits and bobs on series for the business. So I'm kind of getting used to the camera now.
Yes. Well, before I delve into some of the content, I'm sure there will be readers and viewers who will be thinking, well, how does she do it? How does she get it? I mean, on television all the time? And what's the process? How do you manage it?
Well, Four in a Bed, they actually came to me. In fact, everything other than I think there's two occasions. This one, a friend had actually posted this to me, that they were looking for people in Italy, and I just thought, wow, because it was their first time actually filming in Italy. They've always done France and Spain historically, so I thought, I'm going to take this opportunity because I feel like I've got a good story, especially with it being the first glamping in central Italy of its kind. But all of the others and Four in a Bed, they approached us for the Camp Couture, because at that point there wasn't as much competition and we had quite a good established name, and we've got a lot of variation there. So they tend to use us as a story, or if it was fitting into something else. And the festival, my Dubsdale Camper Van Festival, there's a little bit of clips that have happened due to that for like car mechanic shows and restoration shows, and a bit of variation really, which I don't know how it happened. My auntie always said I should be on TV, so she was, it happened, and no, I'm lucky to have done it, and I do enjoy it, and I do get told often that I'm very natural at doing it, which I don't.
You are very natural. You are very natural, but I suppose if you go into something like this, you've got to be aware that there could be some pitfalls. What would you say are the pitfalls of letting the cameras follow you in a reality show like this?
Gosh, the time was for me. I mean, a lot of, especially when busy, and as those that watched the programme for last week for here, there was a lot of things that kept coming against me, of staff not being able to work and pressures that I really could have done with the camera not being on me at that time, because when the camera's on you, you're having to do what you need to do. They'll follow you, but then you're kind of doing a bit of a comments about it at the end, and all you're thinking is, I need to do this and I need to do that. So it can be quite distracting. And there was a couple of occasions, one or two, where I said to my cameraman, can you not come today because I've got too much going on, and with stuff just to sit and do my admin, and they don't want to sit and obviously watch you doing your admin all the time. And a lot of my side is marketing, developing, so I need to be on my laptop. So those days, I didn't want distracting from that, else actually my business would fall behind, or because I don't have staff doing all that for me for this side of it. So that's it. And also the worry that that you get on with your cameraman. There was one day where we had to have a new cameraman and we just didn't gel, but apparently all the other contestants didn't gel either. Right. So it's important to have that rapport that makes you feel comfortable, because it keeps you natural and you will open up more. And thirdly is just the worry of how does it come out? I mean, how do they edit it? Because we don't get a say in any of that. Have they videoed things that that you didn't think there was video in, like if you're having a tantrum or you're swearing or or you're having an argument with my dad, which I did on one but they didn't show, but the camera was watching. So it's an invasion of your life and your privacy. So sometimes you have to be careful, but after a couple of months you forget. It's like Big Brother, you forget that the camera's there. So you just sort of hope that not how it comes out, and but it came out way, because there's always the risk of a negative side to the cameras.
Of course. Well, I think it was very gentle, it was very sweet, it was lovely to see your father calling you a grafter. And we did see you grafting. We saw you scrubbing and cooking and we saw those little shorts. You did get a bit of unwanted attention, didn't you, darling? You did get a bit of unwanted attention after it, though, didn't you?
Yeah, quite a bit. The thing is, though, most of them are not even green. I just think, oh no, it's lovely. But yeah, when I was watching, I was thinking, next time, just wear a long dress all the time. So it's obviously got the eyes on it as well. And I think a lot of, I'm 39, actually 40 this year, and a lot of people seem to think I'm early 30s. So I thought, great,
own it.
How do you do it so young? And I'm like, well, actually, I am nearly 40. I'm not, so. But I just, take the compliments, makes you feel good. No, why not? Could have gone the total opposite way.
It could. It was incredibly impressive to see you multitasking between dealing with the local authorities in Italian, dealing with the local electrician who seemed to think you had your head in the clouds, and the guests, the influencers. Do you think it was a fair representation of your life running a glamping site like that, single-handedly most of the time, it looked like?
Yes, it is. It wouldn't be, obviously that's not a representation now of how I would run Camp Couture, because I've got the team in place that have been there many years and they run it, probably run it better than me really now. However, here, that was the first year of me opening. So, and obviously with the whole COVID, we had foreign guests booked and then cancelled. So all of a sudden it was all Italian. So I was learning again. It was like a whole new learning process, and the staff are new. So for me, and I'm still building that rapport with my staff. At the moment, it's not as close as I have like I do in Camp Couture, where we are that dysfunctional family. So it can be quite edgy and frustrating, because I am still, and even now, I feel like I'm still trying to find my feet and get it to where I've got the right people in the right place that I can trust to do it well, so that I can then be doing all the other things in the background. And because I live here, whereas I didn't live at Camp Couture, I'd work there, go to work and then go home, I'm always sort of, watching and seeing, so I can't help but be mucking in. If somebody hasn't picked the bins up or cleaned the toilet, then I'm doing it instead. So and I always think, as an owner of a business, you should be doing everything, because if you don't do it, you don't know how to train the staff to do it right, and you can't tell them that they're not doing it right when you've not tried to do it yourself. So there is that element of it.
And we certainly saw you having a good old clean of everything, which was a great example of
yeah. And listen, and I've had to as well, because financially things have been tight, because I've got to pay the ex out, which you may have noticed was said several times on the programme.
Rather a lot, yeah.
I mean, so if I didn't have the ex to pay, I probably would be able to literally just pay a cleaner all the time. But I'm only having part-time cleaners at the moment, and with COVID, we had to get business by doing one night stays, so we've made it harder for ourselves. Therefore, I've had to get involved in doing a lot of the, scrubbing work, which I don't particularly enjoy doing. So it keeps me fit.
Well, that's the attitude. That's the attitude. So the $1 million question: has it led to more bookings?
Yes, it has. Yeah. It has, and a huge amount of inquiries, but very frustratingly, COVID. Yeah. So I think we've got bookings that have come through, and some great bookings, long stays for the summer. However, they've already contacted saying, what's the cancellation? So that money at the moment, I can't hold that money as being mine, because last year they all cancelled. So yeah, it's really kind of frustrating that I've had all this PR,
amazing,
and we've had all this amazing response, but people can't actually get here.
But don't forget, they'll be repeating it on TV again and again and again, and every time you'll be getting a boost. And
I hope so, yeah.
I'm sure.
Just before the flights start again would be wonderful.
That's right. Well, it certainly did look absolutely idyllic. And your olives, lovely to see your olives being harvested. So have you been able to invest in some of the upkeep of the trees for even bigger harvests next year?
Yes, I've learned my lesson again, which wasn't all shown. We had the guy in to harvest part of them, but then my dad decided that he'd try and harvest the rest of them, which really. And then he was dragging the staff in. So the filming had finished by that point, but it was, let's just say, a bit of an upty-turvy performance to try and get, because they've got no experience in harvesting, but they did their best, and I've got more oil. However, I'm probably just breaking even financially.
It wasn't, as one of the other contestants said.
No.
Next year Rodders will be millionaires.
Exactly.
No.
So next year I am definitely just paying the professionals who have got the equipment to come in, get it done in a couple of days and not 4 weeks. And just get it done. So, and we've got a lot of, but the problem is now is Brexit. So the oil that actually was meant to go to the boys at the restaurant, and they're branding it as their own. We sent them a batch before Christmas after they'd been here, and it actually got returned to me on Friday, a couple of hours before the show was shown, and then now a lot of shipping companies are backing out of obviously dealing with the whole because of Brexit. So we're struggling to actually get the oil over to them at the moment. So this is another thing now I have to look at. Either it all dries over and they know what they're doing, or we have to just sell it locally. So I don't know yet, which would be a shame.
It is tricky. Now you're going to, I hope, submit a pitch to our Eco Hotel Investment Summit. Is this going to be for a new glamping project, perhaps?
Yes. Oh God, I must be crazy. I must be crazy.
Do we get the scoop on this? Are we sort of actively going to be?
It seems to, in fact, I've got a meeting with the place again on Friday afternoon but obviously I'm pitching first. This place came up around the same time as I was wondering whether to keep here, and by that time I'd invested in accommodation by here, and then I discovered this place, which is literally only half an hour away from me in the mountains. And it's in the snowy area where they've got cross-country skiing, fat biking, snowshoeing, lovely sort of, nomadic type restaurants. And it's an ex-camping site, so everything is there already. And in Italy, there's a lot of ex-government campsites that are just abandoned. And Spirits Intent
Yes,
next to Lucy. So obviously they're up the road, and things have changed a little bit with them at the moment because of Brexit. So we've always had this discussion about putting our heads together to develop glamping more in Italy, but we'll be the developers, and then we'll put couples or people in place to run and manage it. So this is and there's a lot of opportunity here, and I think we've got more stamina to deal with the bureaucracy than what some of the Italians have. So we are I'm trying to look for investors, because obviously I can't invest anything from this side of it, and I don't want to put this place at risk by entering into that one. So it needs to be an outside investor who can be a sleeping partner, offer advice if they want to, or if we need it, but mainly invest so that they can get a decent return out of it for a duration of time or annually. But it's a fantastic opportunity in a really good place, and it would be the only one of its type actually in Italy in the snow, because they haven't got it yet. So it's I feel like it's a lot to take on, but actually having Camp Couture that's got 17 units plus 10 extra bell tents and was overseas, and I've managed that for the last 3 years of being here. This place is up the road, and I've already got a team here that can cross between the two. So actually, it's probably not a bad thing to try and do.
Well, knowing you, Kerry, nothing's going to stop you anyway. You've got the bit between your teeth.
I can't stop. We've had this conversation before, haven't we, about slowing down, and
you've only got 2 speeds. So but you mentioned Camp Couture there. The TV program sort of intimated that it was kind of over there with Camp Couture at that point, but I don't think that was actually the case of how things finished out, was it?
No, it's taken it's been a little bit of a dip and dive. At one point the owner decided he didn't want to do it again, because it's a risk at the moment with all of the COVID, especially the weddings, because we do a lot of weddings there, so there's a lot of financial risk on the wedding side. But then we have started the process, and literally probably in the next 2 weeks, actually, the solicitors' papers will be signed and sealed, and it will be his. So at the moment, they are now running it as their own, and I'm slowly handing over information, and the team are working under them. But financially and the actual shares have not been signed over yet. But yeah, it's definitely going ahead, and I feel very relieved that I'm letting go of that one now. I'm happy and I'm proud of what I've created, but I'm definitely ready to part from it.
Well, I can see that you're in a different country. You've started a new life, and what a wonderful life it looked like. It looked absolutely idyllic over there. It really
is lovely.
Thank you.
You need to come.
Well, as soon as I get out of this blooming rotten little island, I will. My God, you don't have to ask me twice. But yeah, thank you for bringing some sunshine to our evenings last week. It was wonderful to not just to enjoy the story, but knowing you as well, and knowing what you were going through from our conversations during that period. It was absolutely, it was magic. Thanks. You certainly
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Certainly are a grafter, as your dad said. And what was your last line that you came out with that's become your catchline?
Crazy, brave, or stupid.
Yes,
that's what I always used to say. Yeah, I'm either. I used to always say to myself, "God, I must be crazy," and a lot of people say, "You're really brave," and I'm like, "No, I must be stupid." You know, when you're signing away at foreign documents that you don't even understand, that's the stupid part for sure.
Right.
And don't we all ask ourselves in business when starting up? We don't always have the confidence, so we always go crazy, brave, or stupid.
Oh,
So.
well, she's still smiling. Thanks a lot.
I am lucky. So you're welcome, lovely. Thank you. And wait till the next show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right.